Today I wanted to talk to you about serotonin. Serotonin is one of the 4 feel-good chemicals, and if you haven't seen them, I suggest going and watching the playlist that I'll post the links to above, where you can find out a little bit more about each of the 4 primary chemicals that are known as the feel-good chemicals. These are the drugs that are produced in our body and are part of the essential system for mental health, general well-being, and a good brain chemistry. Today we'll be talking about serotonin. Serotonin is a hormone produced by the nerve endings. It's found primarily in the gut and the digestive system, but it does actually follow platelets around via the veins and the blood system. Serotonin is one of the primary hormones that stabilizes your mood and also your feelings of general well-being and happiness. Serotonin is a hormone that impacts your entire body. It enables brain cells and other cells in the body to communicate with each other throughout the entire body. Serotonin also helps with sleep regulation, with eating, nausea, and digestion. However, if the brain has too little serotonin, this can lead to depression, anxiety, and other negative emotions. Adversely, if the brain has too much serotonin, it can lead to excessive nerve cell activity. Serotonin is made from the essential amino acid tryptophan. This amino acid must enter your body via the digestive system, and it's primarily uptaken through the diet that we eat, which is yet another reason why having a healthy, balanced diet is so important, not just to our general health, but specifically to our brain health and our mental well-being. It's commonly found in foods such as cheese, nuts, lentils, and red meat. Tryptophan deficiency can lead to lower levels of serotonin, and this can of course lead to mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Serotonin has a large function in overall bowel health and bowel movements, much like dopamine does, which again shows that there's a very strong link between a healthy gut and a healthy mindset. And again, shows us that there's a very strong reason to have a holistic approach to mental health as well as your general health. Serotonin is produced when you become nauseous, and it's part of the vomiting process. Serotonin also controls sleep and wakefulness, and how good your sleep is depends on the levels of serotonin found in your body. It depends on whereabouts it's found in the brain as to how well you sleep and how much you wake up during the night. It also dictates how much sleep you're actually likely to have. Serotonin also helps clot blood. Bleeding. Serotonin will move to close the small veins around that wound to stop it from bleeding, as well as contributing to blood clots. Too much has been linked to osteoporosis and brittle bones. Low levels of serotonin can be incredibly impactful on mental health and mental well-being, as well as your mood in general. Low levels of serotonin have often been linked to behavioural problems and emotional disorders. Studies have shown that low levels of serotonin can lead to depression, anxiety, suicidal behaviour, and other mental ill health and obsessive compulsive disorder. Some medications and some illicit substances can cause an imbalance of serotonin or an overload of serotonin known as serotonin symptom. When you produce too much serotonin and go into serotonin symptoms, the symptoms can include things like shivering, feeling cold, sweating, confusion, high blood pressure, twitching muscles, restlessness, headaches, heavy sweating, unconsciousness, and seizures. You might recognize some of these from recreational drug use. That's because some drugs, particularly things like ecstasy, overload serotonin in the brain. This can lead to many of the adverse side effects of these drugs, particularly at the onset of the effect. And the first few times that you tend to use drugs like ecstasy, serotonin symptom is likely to kick in before the drugs do. This can cause severe anxiety and make people go on a really bad place. That's why some people it's just not suitable to be taking recreational drugs, and the first few times that you take them are usually terrifying. It's because of serotonin symptom. Low levels of serotonin are also associated with an increase in libido. Interestingly enough, increased serotonin levels often decrease the libido. Serotonin helps to regulate your mood naturally. When your serotonin levels are normal, you tend to feel happier, calmer, more focused, less anxious, and much more emotionally stable in general. A 2007 study found that people with depression often had low serotonin levels. Serotonin deficiency has also been linked with other mental disorders, such as anxiety and insomnia. There have been minor disagreements and there have been many studies conducted on it, but there's nothing actually conclusive that links serotonin directly to your mental health state or disorders thereof. But there are ongoing studies, and there have been animal trials that have concluded that there does seem to be some sort of link between them, and that it's not all just correlation. There does appear to be some causation in this. But at the moment, studies are still ongoing in this, and it is being actively explored. Because we know that low levels of serotonin in the brain may lead to depression, SSRIs are one of the most commonly prescribed antidepressants. SSRI stands for Selective Serotonin Reuptake Inhibitor. SSRI. These are used to treat depression. They are the most commonly prescribed antidepressants on the market. SSRIs increase the level of serotonin in the brain by blocking the reuptake of serotonin and therefore making more of it available for the brain. Some of the most common ones that you've probably heard of are Zoloft and Prozac. These are both SSRIs. There are natural ways to increase your natural serotonin levels without resorting to chemical use. Although if you are medically prescribed serotonin and SSRIs, it is advisable to keep with those because the sudden disengagement of those medical programs can have a lot more inadvertent adverse side effects than intended. They're pretty serious things, so make sure that you are sticking to any regular routine that your doctors put you on. But outside of that, and if you're not prescribed anything for SSRIs or depression or serotonin and you just want to raise your levels naturally, there are heaps of things that you can do to achieve this. Exposure to bright light, exercises, a healthy diet. Food is incredibly important and linked directly to serotonin production. Like I said earlier on with tryptophan. If you don't get enough of these essential amino acids in your diet, you're not able to actually create these hormones and these chemicals in your body to regulate your moods and your health. So a varied natural diet is very important. Meditation is another one that's also linked to all four of the chemicals in our body. How that happens, we're not quite sure, but we know that meditation has an active effect on it, so give it a try. It's been noted that things that naturally increase your serotonin levels are things such as exposure to sunlight. We know that exposure to sunlight increases all four of the essential mood regulating chemicals and hormones in the body. Exposure to natural sunlight is really important, particularly in the day and age where we spend so much of our time indoors. So make sure you make a part of your routine to get out and get some natural sunlight. In moderation, of course. Don't go and get yourself burnt over it. Serotonin levels can also be increased by improving tryptophan in the diet. This amino acid is commonly found in things like eggs, dairy, tofu, red meat, lentils, and legumes. It's also found in salmon and pineapple. So make sure that you have a wide varied diet that includes lots of these tryptophan-rich foods. Regular exercise with serotonin and endorphins. Exercise can't be overstated as one of the most important regulators of mood available to us for free. Meditation. Once again, meditation is something that is very easy to do, but it's shown to increase all four of the essential happy chemicals in the body. Meditation is easy and it doesn't require a lot of time or dedication. You don't have to be a yoga master. You just need a quiet space and a little bit of time to reflect on your thoughts. So make sure you get into the habit of meditating even just for a minute or two before you go to bed at night and see if it improves your sleep. So there we have it, a little bit more about serotonin that I hope you found helpful. As always, please find other videos linked down below, as well as ways to contact us at A Good Chat. If you feel that you want to develop your own personal routine that involves increasing your serotonin and your other feel-good chemicals and you don't feel that you can do it alone, reach out to a counsellor. That's what we do. We aim to improve the positivity in your life through self-development and self-exploration. Of course, you can find all those links below, and you don't have to approach us. You can, of course, approach anybody. We always recommend that if you want to do something specialist in your life, reach out to an expert. In our case, we're experts in helping you explore you. So that's it from me this week. This is Lucy from A Good Chat, and I hope this was a good chat, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks. Bye.